Well, good morning, everybody. It's Leanne Graff with today's live class. You're going to love the cards today. I have been inspired by other demonstrators, as I'm sure you are a lot of times. But I have the cards I'm sharing today are so neat, and you're going to want to make them. And I am using a bundle from the Sale-a-Bration catalog. Let's see, do I have that catalog on here? Yes, I do. So we're going to focus on Sale-a-Bration today, which it only lasts through February. So we're down a quarter of the Sale-a-Bration promotion. So yeah, let me know you're here, that you're watching. Get my laptop synced up, and yep, there we go. Find that. Okay, good morning, everybody. Yeah, sunny Bismarck, huh? But cold Bismarck. I posted on my personal Facebook page yesterday that our wind chill, our temperatures without wind chill this weekend were like 19 below. That's without wind. With wind chill, it ended up being in the like 59 below zero. I mean, it's just cruel, cruel weather. I don't know. The only reason I'm here is because of family, and I grew up here, and my parents were here, my husband's family's here, so yeah, we're stuck for a little while. We may switch someday when we retire. But yeah, it's just been nasty, nasty. A lot of things get canceled. Airplanes couldn't even go because they were freezing. So it's crazy here. Anyway, moving on. I have my designer paper share here out. I think I filled 4 shares. The first 4 are all out, mailed or packaged for pickup. And I think my fifth, I believe, is 2/3 full. So if you want a paper share, it's only $18 for all of this. I had $7 for shipping, so $25 for a pack of 78 6x6. And you know, it's really smart. Some people have ordered double shares, and then they get a 6x12 sheet of all of them except for this one. The balloon paper is 6x6 in size. So that's a really good way to get a good amount of the new designer paper. So let me know if you want to opt in on that. You can pay via Venmo or PayPal. And I don't think I'm going to do checks anymore because I'm trying to get them done. And man, mail is taking forever to get out. I haven't received, I think, but 1 check from those who are sending checks. Okay, so that's the paper share. Little perk for people who order online over $55 using a host code. They get these cute hearts and flowers gems. They are epoxy, shiny gems, and they are just adorable and very flat, so you will like those. So there's my host code. There's my link to order. Reminder that if you like printed project sheets, this is where you get them. All of the projects I'm doing today will have a free project sheet, and same with last week. They are at my blog at flowerbug.net. Now, when you get to the blog, on the right-hand side, it shows free project sheets. There's a category. That's what you want to do. And then just scroll down, print out, download the ones that you want. And you'll have a great array of ideas on these project sheets. So getting to door prizes from last week, I had a pack of cards. This is for sharing last week. And these opaque adhesive back gems were for commenting. So I try and give prizes almost every week. And the winners of these are Marcia Coolbert and Diane Warren. So congratulations, gals. Thank you so much for sharing and commenting. And you're getting in the drawing for the prize. Okay, I'll be sending these out to these gals. I think I have both their addresses. So, all right, so the prizes for this week are a set of a new stamp set, Nuts About Squirrels. This was in last year's annual catalog, I believe. And a set of 3-pack of Baker's Twine. I used up the other 2, but this is 3 brand new spools of in color Baker's Twine. So that's for commenting, for sharing. So yeah. You're welcome, Diane. I'm glad you're watching today to know you won a prize. Okay, what else is new? Well, of course, Sale-a-Bration is a fabulous time to get anything free. So if you are new to Stampin' Up, you can choose an item free with a $50 purchase. There's a ton of them. Look for these circles. In the back, we get to the little bit more pricey ones. They are free with a $100 purchase. There's a set of dies, a bundle that I'm featuring today, and then another really pretty stamp set, detailed dogwood. So there are 3 items that are free with a $100 purchase. Now the other thing I want to mention is if you are at all going to place a $100 order, it would be so smart to just get the starter kit and then get perks. So with the starter kit, you get either the Glass Mat Studio, which is the mat, the cleaning cloth, and the silicone mat that has little what do I want to say? Palette squares. It's waterproof, heat resistant. You can emboss on your glass mat. You can sponge on your glass mat, or instead you get $30 extra in free product. So right now for $99, you can get up to $160 or $150, well, actually no, $125 in product plus $60, $185 for $99. So it really is smart. There is a code if you have the catalog, or go to my blog, and there at the top there's a get the starter kit or join as a demonstrator. So yeah, hi Marcia, good, you're on and you got a prize. Okay, let me see what else is new. I do want to say that if you're watching on my Facebook page, if you're not following me, please hit the 3 little dots on the top of your screen and click follow, or see, and then adjust your settings to see all. If you don't always catch me live, you probably haven't adjusted your settings to see all. It's probably automatically adjusted on highlights only. So if you're wondering, why don't I get notified when Leanne is on, that's probably why. You need to adjust your settings so you see everything, so you get notified. All right, I think that's it. I think I'm going to get into our projects. Not too long of a spiel. Oh, I do want to mention that my card kits to go, a few of them are mailed out today. I had enough product to mail out like 6 of each, but the rest should go out the rest of this week. I should be getting my orders today. So, and they're all cut out ready except for a little bit of one item, and then I'm waiting for a couple items. So this is the bundle that's a $100 purchase. It's free with $100. It's a 2-step stamp that they work together, these two, and then some pretty greetings. Then this gorgeous embossing folder that is kind of like stitched chains. It's really pretty. Now I thought I would share some swaps that I received because my projects feature this, but why not show you some more ideas? So this is a project from Sandy Rule. I really like how she used that new label punch that carried over from the winter catalog. Very simple, but you can see she used the debossed side, where like here, that is the embossed side. So the raised, and this is the debossed. That's what they call it when it's down. This is up, this is down. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know how well the camera can pick this up, depending on what you're watching on. But that's one. Here, this one is made by, let's see, Monica Davis. This one is made by my friend Donald Chevsky. She used some strips of the Poetic Expressions designer paper. And this is the Thoughtful Expressions bundle with this stamp right here from Softly Sophisticated. So lots of different products there. Here's another one. This one is from Leslie Bumgardner. Really pretty. I think this is the, oh, I can't remember the name of the dies. But, and then this one. Look at how that little square, this is from Karen Braxton, of that dazzling paper adds to this card. I mean, how simple is that, but how beautiful. This is the perennial postage dies, I know that, and there she has some of that beautiful embossing. Something about a white on white card. Just gorgeous with that dazzle. So those are some samples that swaps I received when I did my 100 and some swaps. in December. I love getting ideas back, and I will share them as we go through Sale-a-Bration and the spring catalog, because I have a lot. So when I feature a product, I will try and share samples using them. Okay, all right, so this first card is a quilt block. Now, I don't know if she's on. Barb, are you on? Barb Myers. She posted one in our team group that she made, and it was just a stunning. And she said it was really, really easy. So I asked her where she got the idea. And then I did a search and found the video, and it is from the Chirpy Card Maker of Quilts. So if you like to quilt or you like to paper piece, you should follow her, Chirpy Card Maker of Quilts. I don't remember her name, but she did a good job on this video. So it is a star quilt. And thank you, Barb, so much for the idea. Yeah, there's a few little pieces, but basically it's just some strips of paper. Yeah, just some strips of paper. Now I am featuring, well, before I move on, I better get this out because this is most of what I'm using today. This is the Softly Stippled designer paper. It is so much more beautiful in person. Everybody who comes to my studio, open house or clubs, they're like, wow, that does not show well in the catalog, but it is absolutely gorgeous, and the colors are like beachy. Yeah, they're just so pretty. So pool party, tide. What is the no? Wild wheat, Calypso coral, and pebbled path are in this, and just gorgeous paper. So we are starting with a. Now remember, the project sheet will be seen next week on my blog. There's my blog, flowerbug.net. So this is a 3-inch piece of white paper. You're going to use a ruler and find the corners, and then just lightly pencil from each corner. Okay, I already did that. Okay, so use a pencil. That is what you start with. Now you want to pick out 4 coordinating strips. Now I bet I didn't bring that over, but I tried using just 2. And it did not work. You do need to have 4 different patterns. It does not work. Oh, Julie has, yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you giving her name. Yeah, she is awesome. So, she did a wonderful job. So I'm going to basically case her card using different colors. So, my glue just kind of, it's a brand new bottle, and it came out. And I'll show you what I do when that happens. I have my little scrap bin here. So I'm going to spread that because I don't want it to leak out. And you want to get to the corner. And then I'm going to take that same bit of glue before I throw it away and add it to that corner. Okay, so you do want to, of course, hang over the edge, and you're going to put the first strip on the corner and just adhesive on the corner. So nothing down here yet. Okay. So then I'm going to do this one and butt that one right up to that one. Okay, now here I'm going to go under and start weaving, and now but there's glue right here. Okay, so I'm going to hit the corner kind of right about on that line that I drew, and making sure this end, because I do want to use liquid glue because it's nice to be able to scoot as you need. Scoot that over and make sure it's straight on both ends. And then she suggested you check the other end, the back side, and make sure your points are all on the center, or the edge of the designer paper is on a point. Okay, so here I'm going to weave the other way. Now these are 1/2 inch by 6 inch, and this one gets where it's a little bit difficult to push in to, and especially on this end, you almost have to force it a little bit. So I just want to be sure it doesn't separate there. Now I have it woven, and now I can add adhesive to the other ends. Okay, so, and it's up to you if you add it all to the middle. She suggested not, because it gives a little bit of a lift in the center that almost suggests fabric. So when you have this little bit of separation in here, and I dare I say airspace, it gives it a little fabric appearance. So just kind of follow the line, but be sure you get in the point. And you almost have to push these toward that line so you cover up your line. Okay, so that's that. That is how you make your quilt. And then you can use a paper trimmer or just a scissors or a paper snips. So, and you can do it on a silicone mat in case you get gluey. But if I use less adhesive, I don't find I need the mat. But because you're using liquid glue, there's always that chance of getting a little bit sticky. And you want to be as close to this edge as possible. And you're wondering, where's my oh, I didn't show the cards yet. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's one. Here is the other. Didn't even show you. I get so carried away. I really, really like this. Barb was right. It was so much easier than it looks. Now you're wondering, how do you get those points, right? How do you get those perfect points when they're already there? I mean, they're already glued, right? Genius, genius. You just add these. Isn't that something? You just add these. Now you can see that this strip was a little bit wide. It must not have been exactly 1/2 inch, so it isn't quite as perfect. But I'm like, wow, that is so cool. So I just add a square of adhesive here. And you know, it honestly doesn't bother me that it's not perfect. I mean, quilting, well, I think the average person's quilts are not perfect, so I'm just going to go with that. And just get this exactly on the edge. It's really important. It's nice to have it on maybe a darker piece, and then that liquid glue is invaluable for sliding. So, so yeah, you can slide it instead of having it stick. And honestly, I kind of like this on this darker edge here, so I can see that it's exactly on that corner. These are 3/4 inch squares. So isn't that neat? Yeah, I can see that my strips were not exact. I was using a large paper trimmer, and I don't think it was exact as it could be. So there we go. So now, as you can see, they're textured. So on these cards, can you see that this one is debossed, this one is embossed? So again, indented and raised. So when you look at it really close, you can see that there are these squares, but you have to look close. And it still gives a great impression of a quilt block. Okay, so now we're going to run this through our with our Softly Sophisticated embossing folder. Now, Stampin' Up! Usually has the label up on what they consider the right side. So if you want it embossed, you would put it this way, but I want it debossed. I like that better. It looks like sewing when you do it that way. And I'm going to texture this off camera just so it doesn't wiggle. You know how people texture. Oh, I do want to mention something. Some of our embossing folders, if they have a perfect line or I guess grid, you can use this line as your guide for straight. Okay, so I want to quickly emboss that, and yes, it's through all the layers that I added. Okay, and now we have a debossed. Hopefully you can see that. All right, so this was 3 inches square. This is 3 1/4. And here is our card base. It still wants to pop up. I'm using thick white. A lot of people feel that you want thick for your card bases. I'm not as fussy about that. I don't think that's totally necessary. However, a tall card like this, I think it does stand up better. If I do the traditional 5.5 by 8.5, I usually use regular white cardstock. Okay, I got a little heavy-handed with that glue, but I do want all of my edges down. Now, I decided her card layout was a little bit different. I decided to use a coordinating strip of this Softly Stippled designer paper. However, you wouldn't know it, but there's a cut line in between this. So this is what I'm going to do. There we go. Now to make a banner end right here, I have a trick on this greeting too. I want a very narrow banner, so I'm just going to cut up in the middle about 1/4 of an inch and then cut to that. Sometimes it's hard to find it when you when the pattern is so busy like this. All right, so now I have 2 pieces and I didn't have to break into another piece of designer paper. See that? I do that a lot. They don't know what's under there and when they get this card, right? Okay, so center this. Very, very simple layout. You can use any type of, just want to make sure that's right to the edge. And then I want this low enough where I can add my greeting here. Oh, did I not give myself a strip of white? Hold on a second. I don't think I did. Okay, a little bit wide, but that's okay. You can see how I trim. All right, so we are going to add the second piece. You can see I get a little distracted. And I want this fairly low, and I'm going to just kind of match up these lines. You can put a piece of paper if you have trouble getting things straight. Okay, put that down and add this piece. Very, very simple cards. And what I like to do for this one is have the sides and the top be even. So at least what I think is even. Doesn't always happen perfectly. Oh, I have a little bit of glue on my fingers. Okay, so we're going to have 3 different samples of this. And these colors here were Pool Party and Pebbled Path. So I'm going to use Pebbled Path for my greeting and do the same hello there because it's nice and I can use it for thank yous or whatever. So yeah, this is such a fun and easy, and all those strips that you're saving, oh my goodness. Yeah, you can really go to town using your strips up with this. Okay, remember I'm using the Softly Sophisticated bundle for this. Okay, bring in my paper trimmer. So I like to stamp as even as I can, as close to the bottom as I can, and then it's always more difficult to get these thin little, because you can't really hold on to this in here, and I have to estimate. That looks pretty good. Let's see, yep, pretty good. Okay, so now for this, I don't know if you saw the little points on here. What punch, or what do you think I got that from? It's actually from the Inked and Tiled punch pack. So I like to use my punches for label ends or greeting ends. So you end up going in the back of the punch, not through the normal part. You have to go in at the back of the hole, and then you just simply punch and you start looking at your punches in a new way. So when I did that, I'll show you again on this side. The second side is more important to get even. So now I want to be sure it's about the same distance away. And as I pinch, I'm looking at here and here to make sure it's straight. Okay, if you want to, you could make a little mark on your punch itself. But I'm pretty good at eyeballing and making sure it's straight. And if it's off just a hair, Nobody's going to notice but you. Okay, so there's our cute little greeting, and I thought that this was kind of reminiscent of the quilt itself, of the little points on the quilt. That's why I used this punch for this this end. All right, we will add a few dimensionals. Now I'm purposely not putting them at the end because I'm going to add some gems. And if I don't add the gems on top of the, a little bit lower, on top of the dimensionals, so my gems will be here. This is, there's nothing under here. So it doesn't add any thickness. Okay, so I used on this card, I used the rainbow, oh, these are so awesome. The rainbow gems that are in the spring catalog. Okay, and on these two cards, I decided to use, because they both have in colors. This one has a little wild wheat, and this one has a little pebbled path. So that's what I'm going to do, is some pebbled path. I'm going to use a large, oh, you are on there, a large one for the center. Doesn't that just finish that off? And small ones for the banner. And that's all you need. Isn't that neat? I just really love this card, this pattern, this layout. So I am working on the free project sheet, and that will be printed, or able to be downloaded on my blog next week. It's usually Monday, Tuesday that I do my downloads for my videos. Sometimes Wednesday if I have 3 projects. Oh, I was going to show you the center. So here's the inside of this one. I stamped this one twice in wild wheat and Calypso coral. And this one, I simply stamped the flowers, just flowers on the bottom to add a little pattern. So you can do whatever you like with the inside. So 3 great cards that I can use for anything. That hello there is a great greeting. All right, that is the first project. So the second one, oh, you're gonna love this. I have been wanting to make one of these cards. Oh wait, I'm going to share another card I just whipped up this morning that I'm not going to demonstrate, but I wanted to share. It's using the same bundle and the same colors as I just did in Pool Party and Pebbled Path. And I textured I used the Softly Sophisticated embossing folder on vellum. See that? So isn't that beautiful on the vellum? The free Pool Party ribbon, that is part of Sale-a-Bration as well. It's kind of a ruched ribbon, really soft, great for, you can even tie a bow and the bow is not too large or too thick. So I just stamped the flowers in the Pool Party ink and the leaves in the Pebbled Path ink above. Used this greeting. This right here is for the flowers. I didn't do an inside yet, but very simple. This is still that same Softly Stippled designer paper. So yeah, beautiful. And I'm gonna do the same colors on this next card. Okay, all right. So this will also have a free project sheet. So yeah, I just love the colors. I'm kind of loving this Pebbled Path. It's a really nice brown that works with a lot of our soft colors. Okay, all right, so this wasn't my inspiration. My inspiration, of course, was my friend Susie Wood, but I did receive a swap card like this. It's what they call a rocker card. You can rock it, and this one is from Gwen Duckworth. Isn't that cute? So it's deckled circles. So these circles, this is also the new Easter set in the spring catalog. I can't remember what that is, but here she used that same embossing folder as well, the Softly Sophisticated one. So yeah, it's just a beautiful kind of overall, it's one of those like dots, you know, our old dots. You probably still have yours if you don't get rid of your retired things, but one of those classics that I don't think you're going to ever get rid of. Okay, so here is the card that I made. So this features the Softly Stippled designer paper, and I colored it with Pool Party ink. And the greeting is also still from this. I did not texture. I wish I would have textured this with the embossing folder. That was a missed opportunity. But there's the inside. Okay, so it has the silver edged ribbon that carried over. These deckled circles carried over from the holiday catalog. So they're available on our online store. Right now it's numbers 162286. This silver edged ribbon is also carried over. So that's in the online store you can find, and that actually is in low inventory right now. Oh, I was going to say the only thing that is not available right now is the, oh, can I find the name of it? Painted Lavender Dies, page 24. These are the only thing unavailable. So in other words, the bundle's not available and the suite is not available. So they always have a suite that includes, and it tells you everything on each item listed below is in the suite. But when one item becomes unavailable, the suite and or the bundle are not available. So that's the only thing that we're short of right now in our spring catalog. So yeah, they're so fun. And what we've found out, Susie has done a lot of these, is that if you add a layer and something in the center, it tends to stand straight. If you don't have a layered base, it doesn't stay as straight. So we are going to make it in another color combination. I'm going to show you the technique of coloring with the Wink of Stella. So I'm going to do, this is Pebbled Path, and now the dies. Let me show you the dies and which dies you use for this. Okay, so here are the dies. You don't use the largest die. For the outside, it is the second largest die. This is about 5.5 inches across. Okay, what happened to my, oh, there it is. Okay, so it's the second die for the card base, second largest. Okay, so that's that. And then for the layers, like for this layer, so many pieces out here. This is the third largest. Okay, that's the third largest. Now I used the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th and 7th from the smallest for my layers. That does not matter. You can use any that you want, but that's what I use, just the 6th and 7th. It's a huge set of dies. It really is awesome. These deckled circle dies, they're just fun. Okay, so now that you know what we used, let's get going. Now, what I did to color, I'm going to move this away. You can still see the card. I added a drop of re-inker inside the well of my Calypso Coral ink pad. And then, oh, did I add that? Yes, I did. Huh, I remembered. Then I used my Wink of Stella. And if it gets a little dry, you want to push on these little, where it says push. And then you'll get a little bit more of the color. But I just swirl that around and starting in the middle and working out, because the middles are usually darker. And then you just start picking up ink, and what you get is this beautiful shimmery color. And I mean, you can use an aqua painter for this. You could use a blender pen. What else? Well, of course, you could use colored pencils or blends, markers, or any of those things. But it's super easy to color, and it's just pretty, just pretty. Okay, so you won't be able to see that, well, maybe you can see the shimmer. I don't know how good that is, but it is beautiful in person. So to clean this, you simply just wipe that until you don't have any color on there again, and then you can use it in another color. Now, I mentioned this before you close this, if you tend to be one of those people that squeezes your ink pad to get ink on the lid to color with, you want to get rid of this because it has shimmer in it and you'll get shimmer on your ink pad. So I will wipe this out with just a tissue. Okay, all right. I did not see that, Darla, if there's an estimated date for the lavender bundle. I'm sorry, I did not look at that. I forgot to check that. So I don't know when it's going to be back. Maybe somebody else can check, another demonstrator can check and post it on here, or else I'll check after the video's over and let you know if they have a date. Okay, this just goes, and once you cut this out with the second large die, you do have to trim off, because unless you're going to estimate exactly, I just had a strip of paper and I estimated, and then I cut that, and then I trimmed it off. So you'd have to measure to see how much you want to trim off for that. And then the inside would go in here. I'm not going to do that in case I stamp on that. So this time, on this one, I used a piece of Pool Party cardstock and Pebbled Path. Here, I'm going to use a piece of the designer paper. I'm not going to pop it up. I'm just going to glue it on. Now, there's a tip on how you adhere this to, I'm going to take this out, how you adhere this. How tall do you want it? What I like to do is grab another card, a finished card that fits in an envelope, and set my rocker card on here, and then make sure that this does not go above a normal card. Okay. So I'm going to set that like that and just kind of look at my parameters here. Maybe wiggle it around a little bit, spread that glue. There we go. Now I know it's going to fit in a regular envelope. Okay. Now this, I did the same thing. I could add more color to that leaves, but I just wanted a highlight. And I think this goes better like this. So this is going to have ribbon on the back. So we're going to add a few strips of my seal and get that beautiful silver edged ribbon out. And I like to do this, not fold it over, but now I have to remember, yeah, I like it like that. So this has to have, I almost have to do a placement, but I want it top to bottom. Let's see if that looks good. Before I put it on, I want to be sure that yep, that looks really good. So then just trim your edges. And now I want to add dimensionals to the back of this. And that will, and I do it half on my ribbon and half off, but I want it even as well. So I'll do it the easy way. My fingernails are not working, so just use the take your pick tool and get it done. Okay, so looks good. All right, so you know, after I grab these greetings, I don't remember where they're from. I cannot find which die set they're on. They could be retired. I do not know. Yeah, I don't know. I have a stash of extra labels. And so that's what I use. Now I'm looking for my greeting. And I do not see it. I wonder if I left it over there. Well, I think I will just use the same hello there then that I used before. And Pebble Path ink seems to have disappeared on me. See it anywhere? I know it's over here. Isn't that weird? Crazy. Oh, here it is. Way underneath all my my gems. Okay, we'll finish this up. Okay. All right. So because the ribbon has silver in it, I grabbed my Festive Pearls, which in this case has one gold left, silver, and the red or cherry cobbler. Not a lot left. So grabbing some more dimensionals. I just think this card is so pretty. And I like to kind of go over. It just adds a little. Now I want to be sure this is straight. So I'm going to use my grid paper and because with so much curviness going on, it's really hard to get straight. Okay, now just a few silver pearls or gems. Okay. All right, now this, I would likely, I'm not going to do it just to keep the video a little bit shorter, but I would likely, well, maybe I will. Which one? I think that this one works better with this flower. It looks a little bit more similar, so I'm going to use this one instead of this one. And just a little bit of a peak so I have room to write. And then we will add flowers with Calypso Coral, and it'll be quite the pretty finish. Okay, now this little image with this little bud is where that goes. See that little, they actually have it in position on the stamp set. So this bud fits there. These fit right here. So it's quite easy. I'm gonna huff on that. Aim for the bud and then twist up a little bit so the flowers are above the greenery. It's quite easy to get straight, surprisingly. Okay, we will add adhesive. And our rocker card is done. Now you could add a little bit more. I don't know how I feel about, oh, look what I just did. I had ink on my fingers. Guess I'm going to be adding a greeting inside to cover that up. But right here, there's a little bit of a space. Whether you think it should go way up in the corner or not, I left it alone. So there we go. Those are the projects for today's cards, today's class. Oops. Upside down, and we will add a couple of these. That is what we did today with the Softly Sophisticated designer paper and the Softly Sophisticated bundle. So they do pair beautifully together. I was going to mention this one right here is from the Hot Air Balloon, no, Lighter Than Air designer paper, the balloon paper in the mini catalog. That's what that one was, with fresh freesia and lemon lolly. So, all right, thank you for joining me. Don't forget, follow me on my blog. If you need any kits or tutorials, that's my kit shop, my glue stands, and here is my shop or my link for ordering if you need to place an order. So thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. Don't forget to share and or comment to be in on the door prizes for next week's drawing. All right, thank you so much. Have a great week, and don't forget, if you make cards, send cards. Everybody loves to receive a handmade card. All right, thank you.